Hello everyone, welcome to our live program on My Stories. I'm Monk John and I'm your host today. And today we're going to talk about the ultimate truth of life that you might have never heard about. If you just arrived, please share your name, where you're from, and I'm really happy to answer your questions. So we're going to make it a little bit more interactive today. You can ask me any questions, but sometimes the list goes very quickly, so I have to take a look. If I can't answer your questions today, I might try my best to make separated videos, and you can see that we make one video a week, and I will try to answer your questions there. All right, so if you just arrived, please share your name, and maybe you can also share this video to people that might be interested in the topic. All right, so it's my pleasure to be with all of you, and I hope that my voice is clear. If you hear it clearly, you can also say +1 so that I know you can hear my voice clearly. All right, and you can just share with me, okay, whatever you want to know here, your questions, and if you understand or what you think about my answer, of course. So we're just going to wait a little bit for people to arrive before I begin with the topic. All right. So I'm going to also share this live to a few places as well. Okay, so now we have Nay Mia Wind from Myanmar. We have Isabel. And where are you from, Isabel? I don't remember. I think I saw you last time as well, right? And Agnew from Latvia. Welcome all of you. We're just going to wait a little bit more for people to arrive, and today I'm going to talk about the ultimate truth of life. Have you heard of this word, or have you found what you consider the truth of life? Is the answer that you got clear enough for you to stop searching, or you are still searching for better answer? This is my question to you. If you already stopped searching, you found everything, you can also write that, I have no more questions. I know all the truth of life. I have no doubt anymore. But if you keep searching, if you do not know everything, or you feel like there's something more for you to learn about, you can also type that I'm still learning. And I know on some aspect, but the rest I'm not really sure in all other aspects. You can also share with me the aspect that you are very confident about, and the aspect that maybe you're looking for the answer, so that if I could provide the answer for you today, I'm very happy to do so. Okay, so we have a few people arriving already. How are you today? If you feel that this live is going to be useful for your friends, for your family, for people that you care about, please click like and share this video with them so that they have a chance to look at the lives as well. Okay, and my name is Monk John. What about you? Can you hear my voice clearly? can hear clear, you can type +1. And all right, so I think we have quite a few people already. We are going to begin with the topic, what is the truth of life? The first thing that I like to talk about is just a very simple questions. How are you feeling lately? Do you feel like your life is on track, or your life is still missing something that you want to find the answer? What is the answer? Okay. The question is, do you feel that everything in your life is on the right track? At the moment, nothing is going really wrong. Okay, if you please type the answer. I'm keen to look at the answer. All right. Is everything in your life is on track? If everything in your life is not out of place, what is your answer? Please share with me. I'm looking forward to seeing your answer. Okay, so we have Nai, Mia, Win, we have Agnier, Isabel, and the rest. What about you? Everything is fine, no problem, nothing in particular. How are you feeling lately? Are you feeling happy? Okay. And the happiness that you recently felt, where does it come from? That's the second question, maybe. How are you feeling lately? And the happiness that you've been feeling, where does this come from? All right, so we have as well Tanucha from Mauritius. Welcome. And today the topic of the life is, what is the ultimate truth of life? If you just arrived, please share with your friends, with people that you care about, that might be interested in the topic. Okay. Isabel, you mentioned everything is very suffering. Really, what's the things you're struggling with? Can you share with me? All right. So I guess in our life, we want to make our life meaningful, right? That's the thing. Any one of us doesn't want to make your life meaningful. Or every one of you agrees that, well, since we born already in the world and we have an opportunity to make our life meaningful, we have to do something. What is your answer? Do you think that Tanucha said, well, she has many exams and that's one of the suffering. That is what we call temporary suffering, because when you finish your university, you don't have those exams anymore, but you're going to face what we call permanent suffering. Congratulations. And Bruno, Bonjour, Komosawa, that's everything that I could talk about in French. How are you doing? The first question is, do you really like to make your life meaningful? That's one of the questions that I already asked. Okay. Isabel, you have chronic disease. Sorry for that. But sickness is one of the suffering that we can't avoid. There are problems or suffering that you can avoid, and some of them you can't avoid. I'm going to give you some tips so that you handle that feeling later on, okay? Thank you for sharing with me, Isabel. And Phoebe, you have life, work, health, and relationship. Really, everything is a source of your suffering, is a source of your problems. Okay, and Agni, life is a journey. What we experience, we learn from it. Inner work is therefore important to maintain daily contentment. All right, so I think what we want everyone, okay, as I ask you, do we want to make our life meaningful? Meaningful. And what do we have to do in order to make our life meaningful? Okay, otherwise our life will be meaningless, right? And these days we can't live up to 1,000 years. We can't live even up to 100 years. So what do we have to do in order to make our life meaningful? What is your answer? To fall in love with someone, to become rich, to have a good work, to have some kids, is your life meaning fall into some of this? Okay, what is your answer? Or maybe you can just suggest more. Phoebe, she's not sure because she got confused. All right, no problem. Yeah, what about you? What do we have to do in order to make our life meaningful? To become, to fall in love with someone, number A. To become rich, that's B. Okay. To have a good work, good life, C. To have some kids, D. What else? What else? If your answer is different than the list that I'm giving at the moment, you can suggest so that I can add to the list E or D or else. What do you have to do in order to make your life meaningful? All right? To fall in love with someone, to become rich, to have a good work, to have some kids, or to become a monk? That's probably mine. Become a monk. What do you think? Do you choose number E as well? We can talk later on, okay, if you're interested. To serve the purpose will bring meaningful life. And then what is your purpose, Agni, right? So we have to come back to that. And we have Arvin, designing less and being content, okay? Designing less and being content. Why not? So everything that we do, we try to do something. And not every one of us agree on a single answer here, right? Right? Name win to get inner peace. Okay, I don't want to give it an F, so maybe sad. Get inner peace, right? So the question was initially, what do you have to do in order to make your life meaningful? And the answer seems to be different from one person to another person, from one country, from another country, from different culture. We have different purposes. All right? Is that really the answer? So, can I say that we still do not, okay? We still do not know or be sure. We cannot be sure or cannot be sure. What to do? What to do? We're not sure. We don't know, right? Even the answer that you give me, are you 100% confident that if you keep following that, if you keep doing that until the last of your life will be very satisfied and you feel like you're not missing anything? Or maybe the goal that you made next year could be changing, and maybe 10 years from now you're not going to think the same way you are thinking today. So we have June. Have a good relationship with everyone. Someone said to find happiness, to get inner peace, to decide less and being more content. I like all the answers, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to object any answer that you give me, all right? But eventually, it seems that we want to do many things. We still do not, we are not still sure what exactly that we have to. If there is going to be one single answer, we are not sure about that, right? So everything comes back on our feeling. Our feeling. If we do something and that makes us feel good, right? Do something. Do something. And that makes us feeling good. That is what we want to do. The thing is that things that make you feel good at a particular moment is going to be different. Remember when you were young, you might want to play with your friends and that was the only thing that you wanted to do. You didn't actually want to go to class, you didn't want to work, right? Or do you want to become adult? When you were like 5 years old, 6 years, 7 years old, what did you want to do? Do you remember? Everything that we do and make us feel good, we would want to do that, right? So, Nai, Mia, Win, yes, we are not sure what you mentioned. I'm not sure if I made my questions clear enough. I'm sorry if I didn't make my question clear. All right, so the question was, we all have one life, right? Okay, well, you can argue that we have past life, we have future life, but what about this one life that we are having at the moment? Do you want it meaningful? And the question is, what do you have to do? Are you doing? And what you're doing is going to make your life fulfilled and you have no regret later on, right? Some things that we want to do, we know that if we do this, our life will fulfill. Some of you are doing that, but some of you are still working in order to pursue that dream that will help you to have your dream come true, I guess. So, the thing is that this is my conclusion. We all cannot agree on one single answer. We all have our different ideas. And the ideas that we do, everything that we do and make us feel good, we try to do that. So the answer that you gave me, find inner peace, or desiring less, or having good relationship with someone, they are all correct. But somehow, it seems that we need to do something. Be with someone. get something. Or go somewhere. In order to be content and happy, right? You have to do something. You have to be with someone. You need to get something done or obtain something, or you need to go somewhere to be happy. So, does it mean that we kind of depends our happiness or our contentment on something else in the world? Either activities, place, human, animals. Let me tell you one thing. That everything that we depend on, they falls into what we call law of nature. Law of nature. And this law of the nature, number one, things are impermanent. Number two, inconsistent. And number three, uncontrollable. Everything that we have in our life, or everyone that we stay close to. Suppose that you have found a love of your life, your love destiny, and you love him or her so much. But one day, that person changes. That person doesn't return the same love that you've been giving to him or her, or doesn't feel the same towards you anymore. Like you try to send messages to that person, but he or she didn't reply to you. Can we say that love between people, they are also not consistent? Or maybe at some point they are gone. Or maybe at some point they are not under your control. You can't control it anymore. Maybe they are someone else manipulating that love, and not between you and him or her, right? Or suppose that you live in a house, and that house is your life. You love it so much. Every time you stay in your house, you feel blessed. The house is also impermanent. How? It's going to disappear? No, it is not. But the way you stay in your house, maybe you're not going to stay there forever. Maybe you have an urgent work that you have to go and you have to do abroad. Maybe you found a love of your life and he or she asks you to move to another country. So even you love that house so much, the house is not going to stay with you, can't follow you, right? Or even you stay in the house, we can't always be sure that everything in the house will remain in the same condition all the time. Or even everything in the house is not under control. Maybe someone else is also living in the house, maybe our neighbors as well, right? So the condition of us living in that house can vary, and it is not the things that we can control. All right. Again, if you have any questions, if you like, I'm talking about something that you cannot follow very well, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm looking at the screen once in a while just to make sure that you're following, and also I explain clearly, okay, and my message is not confusing. So if we depend on our life, our purposes, our meaning to something that fall into the law of nature, we have to prepare that maybe one day we could be disappointed, right? Right? Okay, maybe this is too heavy. What about I make it even simpler? Suppose that you have your favorite food, okay, and you love that food so much. What is your favorite food? Think about it. The food that you don't hesitate on having every day. Do you have such food? The food that you love so much, and you feel like, it's okay, I can eat that food every single day without feeling bored. Do you have such food? What is it? Looking forward. I'm looking forward to hear the answer. What is the food that you can enjoy eating every single day? Okay, it has to be every single day. And if you dare to claim that every single meal, please name your food. I'm looking forward to see the name. Okay. So now we we have another question. Food that you can enjoy every day. Salad. Okay. Salad from Isabel. All right. Isabel. All right. Okay. Rice. We have from Myanmar. Well, Myanmar and Thailand, potentially we are very close, and in Southeast Asia, we love rice so much. So the word food in Thai, okay, in Thai, is equivalent to the word rice. And that makes us feel confused sometimes when we have something else like noodles or pasta or something that is not rice, that this is not food. I'm telling you the truth because when I was young, some of my friends told me that if that day they had noodles but they didn't have rice, they feel that they didn't eat yet. Okay, KFC, really? Some crepes? The thing is, okay, salad. If I may add some condition here, like salad with typical dressing. If you eat salad, exactly the same kinds of vegetable, same kinds of dressing every single meal, every single day, okay? After a week, maybe the first time, the amount of pleasure that you have from eating salad would be like this. On the second time, will the amount of you having salad the next day will be potentially the same, like this? Isabel, on the third day, if you eat salad 3 days in a row with the same kinds of vegetable, well, you can change because salad is about varieties, right? With the same kinds of vegetables, same kinds of fruits, same kinds of dressing. View the happiness that you eat salad on the third day, or maybe the third meal, like you have salad in the morning, lunch, and dinner. Will they be the same or slightly less? Will you do it 4 days in a row or 4 meals in a row? Will that be even less? So this is just about salad. What about song? You have your favorite song, okay? What is your favorite song? Classical music or jazz or maybe ambient music? I don't know what's your favorite, or rock and roll or heavy metal. If you listen to your song on the first time, maybe your happiness was like this, right? But after you have finished listening to that song and you listen to the same song 2 times in a row, will the happiness that you receive from listening to the song on the second time will be potentially the same or less? If you keep listening to the same song 10 times in a row, what will be your feeling after finishing the 10th round? Will that happiness reduce like this or like this? What is your answer? It seems that the amount of happiness that we got from anything that we pursue loses its meaning, or even the happiness that we got, they are not permanent, right? If we take a look this way, things that we thought will make us feel happy, the many things, right? The many things that potentially make you feel happy. Well, the word happiness here, let me explain. It's the amount of contentment that you got from getting something done, from working, from eating people, from your daily life. Will that amount of happiness last forever? Or maybe not, right? So, we might be, this is we, or maybe you, or maybe me, searching for that happiness. The thing is that happiness that we got from, okay, A, what could this be really? A could potentially be maybe a job, maybe a relationship, maybe being in a place, maybe working on a project. Happiness that you will get from A is not going to sustain, because A falls under the law of the nature, that A could be changing. A is not under your controls the whole time. A is impermanent. Maybe if you really like project A so much, but then EU doesn't give you the money anymore, so you can't do that project. The project A finished. Then you have to go working on something else, right? Maybe you have to go and work with B. Or if B is the love of your life, but after you staying together for a few years, you find that you're not compatible with each other. Will you continue staying with that person? Maybe not. Then you have to also move to C. We keep moving around. Think about your life over the last 20 years. I hope that everyone here is more than 20 years old, right? Any one of you who are still under 20? Because this answer could be a little bit different. Well, but if you are 18, 19, could be the same. But if you are more than 30, 35 or 40 years old, the questions they ask you, think about your life over the last 20 years. Have you been moving around? Or you stay at one place with one job, with one house, with one love of your life, with one thing? You are one of the luckiest person in the world. But we are 7 billion people, right? 7 billion, what is that? This is 7 billion? Okay, I could easily just say 7 and billion. We are 7 billion people. And most of people in the world, we can't actually stay at one source of happiness for long. And we keep moving around. Even me. Before, the source of happiness that I had was not being a monk, because I became a monk 10 years ago. So I had other sources of happiness as well, and I depend myself so much on those things until 10 years ago I ordained. So I keep moving around, and maybe ordination for me is number like X. X. The question is, how long do we have to keep searching until we have found something that will potentially bring us long and, I would say, everlasting contentment, and we don't have to search anymore? Or in our entire life, will we find one, right? Have you thought about this? Ever thought about it at all? Have you ever thought, or you don't care because your life is, you are still very young and you keep searching. Maybe you find one and you don't care and keep searching, huh? That's great. But let me share with you something that you might heard about, or you might have never heard about it, okay? But since you expect maybe my answer is something that you have never heard about, or something that is not the typical answer that people keep searching. You know, sometimes people would tell you, no problem, you can keep searching for your whole life, nothing will be in vain. That is partially true. Let me ask you, if you have a chance of finding that right thing on this particular moment, will you grab it? Will you take that opportunity and stop doing anything else? Your answer could be different. Some of you may say, okay, you can give me something, but I will keep searching anyway, right? Or, well, I'm not really sure what I'm searching about yet. So, one thing that I would like to share today is life is valuable. It means that we are born to the world, so we have to do something with it, right? We have to make it meaningful. Otherwise, our life could be in vain. And I think, well, some people may say, okay, I don't care, but what about you watching me now? Don't you agree that we have to do something because our life is meaningful? Don't you think? Right? And the second, this is perhaps the answer to the title of the life the ultimate truth of life, we need to learn to love and be happy unconditionally. Because in our life, we always depend on our love, on our happiness, on something else. We create so many conditions so that if things is going like this, we feel happy. If she loves me, I'm feeling happy. But if she doesn't love me, I'm not feeling happy. Or if I get that job done, my project finished, I feel happy. So we need to learn to be happy unconditionally. And we don't need to depend on anything else. This is really, really possible. It's really possible. So let me share with you. All right? The thing is, in fact, the conditions that we created, can we remove it? And what do we have to do in order to remove the conditions in the mind? What do we have to do? Let me share with you one example. Suppose that this is something very hot. If you touch something very hot, your hands will be burned, right? And maybe you are not going to touch it anymore because you know it's very, very, very hot. But what if this is a thought? And every time you think about this thought, it hurts your feelings so much. Why do we keep thinking about the thought again and again and again? Why don't we learn, or why can't we learn that we should not think about this anymore? That's because we still do not know what is wrong with us, what is going on with the mind. We still keep doing what we've been doing. We are knowing that doing something hurts us so much, right? So the conditions is because we still do not fully understand ourselves. We don't understand ourselves. Completely. You may argue that, well, I understand myself. I know myself. I look at myself in a mirror for many years. But if you understand yourself, why do you hurt yourself? Right? Are you not hurting yourself at all? Physically, verbally, or mentally? Sometimes, why do we still blame ourselves? Or you have never blamed yourself? Have you ever blamed yourself? If you blaming yourself, you are still hurting yourself. You still do not know yourself. You still don't understand yourself, right? So in order to remove such conditions, loving unconditionally begins by loving yourself. Loving yourself. But how to love yourself? We can't love everyone in the world, right? Because every time I ask people, Now we are going to loving kindness meditation. And in loving kindness meditation, we're going to kind of spread our love around and share our positive intention with people around us, with people in the same city, with people in the same country, with people in the same world, without any conditions. This is the loving kindness meditation we normally practice. But some people ask me, Monk, can I share to people of the whole world except 3 people? I didn't want to share with them because they are my neighbors and I didn't like them, or maybe I have a problem with them, and every time I think that I will have to share my love with them, I feel terrible. It's not doable, right? So, what about you? Have you ever been in that situation? We always have that in the mind. So we can't really love everyone. But the truth is, the cause of suffering, okay? We already learned about what we call that we have conditions, and the conditions make us feel unhappy, okay? These equations or this conclusion comes from the fact that because we have conditions, so we can't be happy the whole time. You keep listening to the same song, and eventually you just have a condition. Oh, this is the same song, right? I've been listening to that song for 10 times. So that condition is created, makes you unable to feel happy with the same song in the same way, right? So the conditions that make us feel unhappy, where is it? These conditions is in fact is in our own mind. That's because every time you feel happy, it seems that the world worth living. Every time you feel unhappy, it seems that even the same people, same job, same food, same song, the amount of happiness that you got is not the same. So we have the same hardware, we have the same body. Everything around us seems to be the same. But if the mind is not the same, the amount of pleasure, the amount of happiness, the amount of contentment that we receive is not going to be the same. So all the conditions that we created, or maybe it forces us to think that way. We didn't create it, but it has been with us for many years. It's already in our mind, right? So, number 3, in order to feel happy, we just have to remove the condition. How to remove the condition? The best way is to stop being attached. Learn to let go, okay? You can stop being attached. Learn to let go. And well, I'm talking about this because I want to come to this conclusion. You have to meditate, guys. I usually ask people, have you ever meditated and you were in a state that you didn't think about anything at all when you meditated, okay? Have you ever felt like your mind was completely free and you didn't think about anything at all. Have you ever felt that? That is when all the negative feelings cannot control your mind, right? They can't control your mind, so they try to enter your mind and your mind blocks it. That happens when your mind became very calm, very still. We can imagine as well that our mind is like a glass of water. And every time in our life, when we feel uncomfortable, we feel bad, we drop some ink into the water and the water becomes murky. That is when your mind was influenced by negativities, by negative thoughts, by negative emotions. And that these murky things that making your mind loses clarity become conditions that blocks you from feeling happy with whatever you have. Okay? So removing conditions is just as easy as to stop thinking, really stop thinking. But this doesn't mean that you never think again. In our meditation, it is that particular moment when you stop your mind from thinking, when you stop your mind from worrying, that blissful feeling will appear. So, stopping the mind, stopping your mind from thinking is the key to remove condition. That's number 3. And the mind that is free will show you the way. It means that we already have an ability to understand what we really want in life, what you really want to do. But because our life, we've been troubled with this amount of ink that we put in the water. It is like we wear dirty glasses. And if you wear dirty glasses and you look at things in the world, you're not going to understand, you're not going to appreciate, and you're not going to enjoy the things that you're looking in the same way. Right? There is a story of a family. In this family, a girl usually talk to the family that, look at our neighbor. Our neighbor, they don't know how to wash their clothes. Or maybe the washing machine is not working. Because I look at the clothes that they hung this morning and they are all dirty. On the second day, the girl would come to talk to the whole family, sharing this news. On the third day, the fourth day, the same. On one day, the girl returned to talk to the whole family. Look, today I think our neighbor has fixed the washing machine. Our neighbor, they know how to wash their clothes. So there is a voice, maybe from the father. The father said, no, they didn't do anything different. They didn't fix the washing machine, but I just cleaned our window. So basically, the girl was looking through the window, but the window was not clean. And the picture that she saw was unclean. Not because the neighbor didn't know how to wash their clothes, but because the eyes of the girl was blinded because of the window. What about us? Many times that our eyes were blinded because we didn't clean the glasses. But of course, this is not the physical glasses, the optical glasses, but this is our own mind. We didn't clean the mind. We didn't clean the conditions. we have so many conditions that are already in the mind. The conditions that block us from feeling happy, the conditions that keep telling ourselves that we are bored, we need to move to something else, or we still hold on to the happiness that we had in the past, but those things are gone at the moment. For example, if you were in a relationship and then the relationship collapsed, of course you feel unhappy. But the questions that I like to ask you is it possible that you can kind of take yourself away from that unhappiness that you got when you have your heart broken, right? Many people will say, no, I cannot get over that. But I saw many of them who said no to me. They're having new relationship. They're having even kids. They're having big family already. So many of my friends who share with me, I will never be able to get over that love of my life because I love him or her so much. And now that person here even have kids, have family, got married already. So even the hardest suffering that we thought that we could never get over it, things could change. All you have to do is just to fix your own mind. If you can let it go, remove conditions from the mind, unlock your mind, eventually you can be happy again. And the mind that is free will show you the way. So what I'm sharing you today is not something that I invented. These 4 things is what we call 4 noble truth. 4 noble truth. But the real 4 noble truth is much deeper, and because we have just an hour, I cannot go kind of deeper into all the details. So I'm just talking about some examples. I use so many examples today to help you to relate to your life, or maybe to understand from your perspective, okay? And this 4 noble truth is very simple. We have conditions. So our life is still full of inconsistency, and we can't always enjoy what we have, or we feel unhappy, and we have to keep searching. And things that give us happiness will not always with us forever. And the condition is, no one created this condition. We created it ourselves. We block our own happiness. We create illusions, how we see the world. So, removing conditions could really happen if you can stop your mind from worrying. But this can be practiced. You may have a question, but because I'm feeling unhappy, so you tell me to stop feeling unhappy. But where to begin? I don't see the beginning, right? The easiest way is to learn to meditate. Because if you learn to meditate the right way, okay, if you don't know how to do it, you can follow this live, and once a week, usually on Wednesday, I'm going to provide maybe some meditation live, and once a month, I'm going to guide you meditation over the weekends as well. And that state of the mind, when it is free from thinking, free from worry, will help you to understand what clarity really means. And that clarity is going to show you the way to happiness, the way to love people unconditionally. And this is what meditators usually would say to you, that I'm feeling so happy and I would like to go and run to everyone, hugging everyone, and tell everyone that I love them. That feeling exists, okay? Everything is in your mind. You just have to unlock it, and the whole world will change. The whole world will change for sure. Yes, Terence, meditate more or make meditation a part of your life. Clean your mind every day, right? Do you clean yourself every day? I'm sorry that I have to ask that. Do you clean your body every day? You brush your teeth every day. You do that, right? Especially if you live in Thailand. You have to maybe take a shower more than once a day, which probably you don't do that if you are in a colder country, right? So, if you clean your body every day, why don't you clean your mind every day as well? Right? Our mind could be dirty, right? Our mind could have impurities. We drop a lot of ink, we drop a lot of murky things in the mind, and our mind is contaminated the whole time. We clean our body, especially if your body starts smelling. You need to clean your body immediately. But can you smell your mind? Can you smell when your mind is dirty? We can't smell that, right? We can perhaps feel that we are not very satisfied with the moment. But we can't smell our mind. As a result, if there is no indicator or the indicator is not very visible, like I share with you, this is a hurtful thought and you keep touching it every day. You don't even know that this thought hurts you. So it's something that blinds you, something that makes you don't understand the truth. The Buddha said that the worst thing is you don't know that you don't know. So that's the ignorance that we sometimes, we didn't even know what we want, we didn't know what makes us feel happy, we didn't know that we are hurting ourselves so much. We don't even know that time is valuable, life is meaningful. Some people would just say that, okay, but I could stay in a house, living alone, in a jungle and feeling happy. But sometimes life could be even more meaningful than that, right? You can make yourself more useful for humanity. Don't you want to do that? All right, so that's our life today, the ultimate truth of life, and I share with you again. First, there are things in the mind that I call conditions, and those conditions block us from feeling happy, or those conditions keep reducing the amount of happiness that we get from things, we get from our situations, or those conditions create unhappiness because maybe the source of happiness is impermanent. But when we have to let go, that thing tells us that, because we used to that source of happiness, when we have to part or separate from that source of happiness, we feel unhappy. That's because we have such conditions. Some people call these conditions viruses of the mind. Viruses of the mind. And there are different terms like defilements. Because the defilements makes the mind feel dirty and not clean. Or some people will call them kilesa. That's perhaps the term in Pali languages, kilesas. Because of those conditions in the mind, if we search somewhere else, if we try to find who causes conditions to me, you will never find the right person. You never find the right things, the right way to remove it, because you're not searching in the right place. If they lived in your mind, you have to do something with your mind. So removing conditions makes you feel blissful, or if you make yourself feel happy, relaxed, blissful, no worry, and let go, you will eventually remove those conditions or reduce the effect and makes your mind clear again. And the mind that is clear will understand things thoroughly, will understand the whole circuit of life and even the remaining of the truth of life clearly. So I hope that you enjoy our live today. If you have any questions, you have a chance to ask now. And if you feel like this live is useful, you can also share this live, this video with people that you care about, with your friends, with your family, with your group. And you can also find interesting videos from my stories as well. And if you're interested in meeting me or our team in person, there's a retreat going on in May and in July. Okay, you can find more information of the retreat from our staff. I think they will post the picture or the information on the comments as well. Okay? Do you have any other questions? If there is no more questions, I hope that this is useful for you, and I could not actually explain the more sophisticated things, so I just take some examples from this topic for Noble Truth, because the topic is very large and contains many details. So I just take some examples and try to help you understand. I hope that it's understandable, and I hope to see you again. If you have any doubts or any of this part are not clear, you can ask me, okay? If we can learn to let go and understand that the best way to be happy is to accept that we can't control everything. And the only thing that you can really control, the only thing that could be under your control is your own mind. You thought that you can't control your mind because your mind keep wandering, your mind keep jumping, your mind keep worrying. But the mind is the only thing that you can really control. You can't control other people. You can't control the situation. You can't control the whole world. You can't control circumstances, places that you live in, but you can control your own mind. So what are you waiting for? Our time is running out, right? You don't actually want to waste your time moving around until the very last day of your life, and eventually you just realize that you never really get your life in control even once. So you can begin today, and I hope you have already begun. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Nay Mia Wind from Myanmar. Thank you, Arvind. I'm not sure where you're from. Thank you, Terence. Thank you, Min. I think you're from Vietnam, right? Thank you, Tanusha from Mauritius, and Mix from Latvia, Isabel, and Wilson, and June Brunel, and Agnew, and all the rest. Thank you so much for watching this live. See you next time, and I wish you happiness, real happiness. It's not the happiness that you will depend on something else, but the happiness that comes from inside, the happiness that you don't need to depend on anything. I wish you that kind of happiness. I wish you good health, or even though you're not very healthy at the moment, but this is something that we can't control. So things that you can't control, just let go, right? things that you can control it. You can't even control your body. I'm sorry to say that, because you can't even predict when you get sick. The only thing you can control is your own mind. And I wish you success, prosperity in everything you do, and I wish you that you will attract positive things to your life. And of course, if your mind is happy, if your mind is clear, if your mind is pure, you will be attracting positive things to your life for sure. Thank you very much, and see you next time. I'm Monk John. This is my stories. Thank you. Goodbye.